Hello everybody, welcome to Friday Night D&D with Wyrd and Wyld. Thank you for joining us. This is session 75, Hook, Line, and Singer. I'm Jaso the DM. We are out one person tonight, so the faces and names are going to be a little screwed up. But anyways, who else is joining me this evening?
Hello everybody, I am Bailey, and I will be playing Glacé, the androgynous Eidolon, College of Glamour Bard.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Luke, and I'm playing Aesop, Kinku Alchemist, who is getting a little bit of an echo from someone right now. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's me.
What's up, guys? My name's Kevin. I play Sun Kong, the apeling bionoid monk following the way of the abundant spirit.
Hi, I'm Slim. I'm playing Renkaz, a lizard folk fighter of the martial archetype of the gunslinger bounty hunter slash. I want to kill people, especially that bat. To hell with them.
No!
Who was that? Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
I'm Kyle. Today I'm playing only Fare Laredo! Arcane trickster, every skin to be a tech wizard extraordinaire.
Lushee's going to be like, I need a Goliath for this mission.
Son of a guy. Okay.
Alright. Let me see. Thank you guys for the introductions. Thank you those of you who are hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it. Probably be doing all kinds of things and you're here. So
Hi, Ika!
Looney, thank you for popping in. Hey Looney, I got with Slim / husband / Brian, and we're getting ready for your thing. Welcome Enticing Thorn. Thank you husband and wife stream for the raid. I appreciate that. What's up Inquiry? And hello T-Bird. Thank you all for joining us. Hey, we passed the 125 follower mark. That's real cool. We're at 126 now. It's a small step for a Twitch stream, but I'll take it. Thank you Skibras again for following us last session and participating in our giveaway. He was the one who ended up winning the $10 digital Steam card, which you guys can have a chance to win, either that or a digital gift card to the DM's Guild at the end of every month when we do a little giveaway challenge that you can check out. That's I will release the details the last week of the month, and you usually go over to the Twitter and answer one of their questions there. Last time it was multiple choice and pretty easy. This time it may be the same way. We'll see. But yeah, keep watching because it may be a question that relates to the story or something that you would know if you've been watching the stream. And thank you Slim for the bits from last session. That was nice of you. Speaking of bits, thank you League of Explorers similarly for bits and the resub. And please be excited, he followed us last session. That was nice. And because you guys follow, you get 300 Twitch channel points automatically. Speaking of, the Streamlab points are gone. They're no more. If you didn't use them, they're gone. But you guys can start accruing, and probably already started accruing, the Twitch channel points. Those of you who are subscribers, you get gold avatars down below. Stuff that you can use points on as well if you are building up your Twitch channel points as stream avatars. You can buy stuff like inspiration for the party. You can see all those details now in an easier place than trying to find out what your Streamlab points were, because the Twitch channel points are just down in the bottom left of the chat. So you can take a look, see how many you got. You'll accrue more as you watch and interact. And you can just click on that little icon down in the bottom left and see what you can buy. It's pretty cool. For those of you who want a little pop out to play with your stream avatar, I'm about to throw that in the chat. It's just !extension. There we go. It'll pop up a little control panel that you can use to control your avatar and make them walk around and fart and fun stuff like that. That is all of my housekeeping. Most of you guys look like you have inspiration except Bay, so let's go ahead and hand that out. Here you go, Bay. Pick one of these.
I draw 100 cards.
Pick a good one.
Alright, let's see. Fuck! Alright, I'll take it.
If you guys want to trade, as usual, trade now or forever hold your peace.
No, I'll keep it. It's shitty.
Do we need another one for whoever's going to play in VD?
Alright, fuck it. Go ahead and grab you one more fa. Just remember whatever that one is for NVD.
Oh, okay. Sure. I can't close my own deck. Hold on.
It's like he's here with us.
Let's see.
Fascinating.
Hey, Glosse.
What?
This is DC increase to you.
Oh, yes, give me that. Here, you can have this one. It's great.
Alright, yeah.
Narrator, it wasn't great.
And if you guys
Intelligence.
are happy with all that, whenever you're done, or if we're good, why don't we roll some die to see who wants to give the recap from last week?
I got immunities.
Oh, no.
Perfect.
Oh, Rincaz.
Oh.
Thank
Of
you.
course, somebody draws a 1 when I don't hit them.
Oh man, guys, I feel like I haven't given a recap in like 6 months. This is pretty great.
See, that's why I volunteered to do them when I'm on point, and it was an exciting session that I remember every little detail. When I don't, it always get the ones on the ones that I can't remember every detail about.
It's okay. Luke will get all of his ones during the session.
I'll help you, Rincaz. I rewatched the stream today.
I did have some of it on the background at work while I was listening, so...
We can help you, Rika.
Yeah.
What happened last time, Rinkaz, on Weird and Wild?
Well, we started the session on the ship, and the monkey almost drank bleach, and I started scratching my head with my gun, and it almost went off. And I do remember talking to Lushee at one point, and the old arcane. And maybe I'm reaching too far back, but we had a mysterious visitor pop up and watch us for a few minutes, say a few shady things. 10th pit. Dark Shrine.
No, yeah, that was last session.
You guys got
That
real
happened, yeah.
conspiracy theories and all that.
I mean... Oh, and we also found out for the 4th time that the ship does not have locks on the door.
Hey, you
And,
guys all have all the toys in your party to set up your own traps, which a lot of you did actually. But yes, the doors when you walk up to them just are magically animated to shift to the side to allow you to step in or out.
Jason, please have someone come in and just meet Sugar. Please.
Just once.
I'd love to see it happen.
I think for the most part your ship is pretty well fortified, besides the maybe like 2 times out of this entire campaign that something has been able to bust in. So, but now with Sugar on the ship, that would probably be, yes, a very bad time for whoever tries to go into your room.
I should just teach Sugar to patrol the hallway outside of our rooms while we're sleeping.
Hey,
I support
it's
this.
not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, because they can sleep during the day when we're all off the ship, but when we're there sleeping, they'll just patrol the halls.
Yeah.
Cats are always reliable.
So,
Hey,
past
she's a-
that,
she's a smart
I think, what, we got together, divided up who we were bringing with us, and hit the streets and started looking for any signs of the location. I'm trying to remember the exact name of the place that we were looking for. I know we were
The
looking...
infinite staircase.
Oh no, the infinite staircase. No, the house we were looking. I can't remember who the original owner
House
was.
Oh.
of the infinite staircase.
That's
It was
there
that
you go.
guy's name. What was
I
it?
wrote it.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. It is. Wow, there's a lot of notes here.
Pillar.
Tendron Pillar.
Tendron Pillar, because it totally doesn't sound like the Pillar or the 10th Pit or any of that. We looked around, and with a few good perception checks and investigation checks, we were able to find it. We did get information, I remember, from someone else on the way to there. We found the place, and the door was wide open, and he wasn't in there, and apparently he hasn't been there for a while after wanting to shoot a bat because it was totally suspicious with a 20. Zed Bain, former Fallout rock star and wannabe drow dark elf vampire, told us, no, dude, no. I mean, yeah, like, I totally was here looking for this. And then he opened up a door, and we wonder why he was gone on out of his summer home on the world's worst planet. No, wait, second worst planet.
I like how you were all suspicious of him being there when you all, like 9, 10 people broke into this house.
doing the exact same thing.
With a video camera.
Yeah.
You can't pilfer here. We're pilfering here.
He was looking for a door back to hell,
Yeah.
so he could
So-
kill his maker.
Totally being
It's
not
fine.
inconspicuous because we never are. Guns a-blazing. Walked in, got information from Zed that.
Oh no, we went
Yeah.
in. We went incognito. We were totally careful.
Fucking incognito.
It's
He
like the
didn't know
Scooby, the
He
Scooby
didn't know
Doo
who
game.
Glasse was at all.
That's correct. He did recognize Glasse. and
No,
after
he
a little-
didn't.
He knows who you are. He loves you. You're best friends. He wants you to be in the band. So we
Oh.
found a secret door. Totally not secret door. And it led to the world's worst staircase that totally leads to our enemies, hopefully. Maybe. And
It leads to everywhere.
to everywhere. Which is correct because it's a part of Sigil or not?
We're not sure, but we know it. According
No.
to Zedbane, it can lead to anywhere if you know how to get there. It's confusing.
We're gonna walk in on chatter.
I do want to say, if he can wait till after we help COOI, I am totally down to go to hell with him.
Oh, yes. That's just what we need. A little more excitement in our lives.
Legit, like totally.
I think before he told us, we were asking him about the reigar, and he knew a little bit about it. But we have to meet with
Make a-
Lushee.
Yeah, and and Lushee had something for us. He was he heard
Oh.
Zedbane about
Wait.
doing a New Year's type event.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, for the year 102.
Wait, when you say you going to hell, does that mean we're going back to Jadra? No.
No, actual hell.
JJ's really
I
nice
think that's
compared
about
to
it.
hell. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. That covers pretty much everything. You guys found the infinite staircase, shared some information with Zedbane, who luckily happened to be there, and Zedbane did tell you that, which you guys kind of knew because you gave Lushee the 411 that you guys were heading that way, that he was hoping to meet with you guys along with Zedbane to throw a New Year's year, Twixt year, what was it, the TT?
Yeah, Twixt time.
The Twixt time year 102 Gala Extravaganza, and he wanted to meet with you guys whenever you were available. He said something about, Zedbane mentioned something about having you guys doing some type of signing or something like that, and then maybe something afterwards, so...
Yeah.
That's where we last left off. You guys were sort of just poking your heads through this, what just kind of looked like, typical door at the other side of the living room that you would assume would probably lead to some type of closet or some area. There's no big indication that it led into a larger room, and popped your head through, and there just seems to be a winding staircase that continues to swirl until you just can't see it anymore.
So how does this thing work exactly?
Oh shit.
I wanted. Yeah, okay. Fall takes off running up the stairs. She
No.
wants to get to the bottom of the stairs.
No! No! No, I
No.
grab Fa with my strong hand.
Look!
If you don't know, were you not listening? If you don't know where you're going, you're never
could-
going to be able to get back.
Oh,
Could be lost forever. Far.
just like come back around down there.
Also, admittedly, I haven't tested it yet, but I heard that sometimes entrances into the infinite staircase are one way only.
Even more of a reason not to rush in.
Oh, fair enough.
I just saved your life.
Remember that.
Are we keeping track now?
Oh, no, I say, slipping paper into my.
Well-
I'll send you my bill.
Okay. Oh,
I do want to say to Zedbane, I for one, I don't know if you're looking for any help. Well, I think you said you were. If you can give us a little time. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I'd be down to go to hell with you. It's a weird sentence to say.
Oh, that was romantic, Sun Kong.
I got a hot, yeah.
Not like that. Well, I mean, it is hell, but no, I mean, like fighting his sire to free him. Like that sounds like an amazing adventure, don't you think?
A wonderful, tragic story for a song, yes.
I know this must excite you, Aesop. You love adventure.
I mean, I could take it or leave it, frankly, but I mean, it would make for good footage, if nothing else.
It would make for good content.
I don't
Some of that
know.
We all need
cheesy,
good content.
Some of that good content, you know?
Hell yeah.
When you're in a profession like mine or like ours, I'm pretty sure majority of the people that we know and or are our friends are probably there. I don't think they
Or
want to see
Goldberg.
us.
I hear it rocks down in hell. I'm excited.
But we do need a little time. We have a friend who's in kind of trouble. Well, we have people in trouble.
Well, I appreciate that. All of you willing to help, well, some of you rather, is, well, it's real nice. Plus, I'd like to get to know y'all more. But just because I'm dead doesn't mean I don't want to stop rocking, so if you guys would be willing to come have a conversation with Lushee, he may have something in mind for bringing in the new year with a bang.
For sure. Oh, if I would like to help you if you need a bodyguard or a bouncer for a show sometime. I'm all for it. I don't think I want to see some of the people in hell. No offense.
You've probably sent a fair amount of people there yourself, Renkaz.
They're probably waiting for my third, fourth, or fifth death there.
It's an interesting place to say the least, but I prefer the land of the living myself, and having this feeling inside, this calling that won't leave me, leaves me with a major headache. I want to be rid of it.
It's fair. It's fair.
Well, the sooner we get stuff done here, the sooner we can help you. Let's go talk to Lushee, I guess. And block his place up so nobody wanders in it.
Yes, very important. Let's push some stuff in front of that door.
Maybe we should actually talk to Lushee about if no one's living here, it would maybe be safer for us to own this house, so to speak. I'm just saying, if it doesn't have an owner and people can just walk in and out, maybe we should own it.
Well, if word gets out the Wyld not live here locally and have a house, just think about how many more people will swamp the area. It's a little more dangerous.
If I remember, the owner went lost and nobody knows it.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's
we own it, but we don't have to like.
You can't just claim a house in a civilized area.
No. That's why I said we should talk to Lushee about it. I'm sure he has pull.
Squatters' rights.
All right, I'll let you all handle that.
Let's just not say anything and continue to come back here secretly, incognito.
I only say own and talk to Lushee about it because, no offense, Zedbane, but if Zedbane wasn't good, some people need to be invited in when a place is owned.
He's standing right here, Sun Kong.
I told him no offense. He knows I don't mean anything. Right, Zedbane? You know I mean no offense.
None taken.
You're one of the good ones.
One of the good ones? You can't say that about
What, Aesop? What?
I work for Lushee, but honestly, perhaps keeping this place, considering its current vacancy, under wraps between us two, that might not be a bad idea if we're wanting to take advantage of the whole staircase ordeal. Then again, Lushee may be aware of its existence. Hard to tell.
It is. That's why I thought it may be just easy. Maybe he can help us keep it secret if he knows we're protecting it. I'm just saying.
For the time being, let's come and go through the back door.
Okay. Which one's the back door?
The one not facing the street. We don't want anyone seeing us coming and going from this place.
We can lock it up and just polymorph into a small animal and come down the chimney. And then unlock it from the inside.
Sure.
Not a bad idea. Y'all mind if I follow y'all back to Lushee? Were you heading back his way now?
I think that's where we're going next, right, guys?
So.
I could lead you through the streets there. Plus, It may be a arcane artificial sun, but it's still bright to my eyes and skin, so I'll be following you in a little bit incognito, he says as he pulls up his spiderweb-like hood over him.
Speaking of incognito, I mean, Glace may be right. Maybe we shouldn't leave this place looking like us.
Oh, honey, I'm still Matt Varnish. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in character.
I mean, I guess we haven't taken off our costumes, so.
What costume, boss? This is my uniform.
Probably not a bad idea.
I have to assume character again. Give me a moment.
Rinkaz is going to look at Aesop and say, in character, I wink at boss.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here! And
Let's go.
Alright, so you guys gonna head out of the house here? The vacant house?
Locking everything up.
Okay.
And I guess, can Zedbane turn into a bat and come out, lock everything up, come out the chimney and...
That's actually a good idea. Zedbane will agree because it will lock from the inside to let you all out. He'll lock it from the inside. He'll bat his way out through the chimney, which is actually not a bad idea when you guys thinking about it, because as you're stepping out, you do realize it because of the way that these, again, they're pretty damn decent sized houses, but they're set up in almost a townhome structure, so it wouldn't be easy to get into the backyard if there even was one, or through a back entrance. So this may not be a bad plus you may just return with Zedbane anyway, so, or a polymorph spell to get somebody through the chimney. So he flies up, you see him quickly fly down, and you hear him kind of brushing himself quickly as he throws his hood and cloak over himself from the bright arcane sun that is blistering in the sky to him, and kind of looks to you all and gives you a nod.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, bigwigs, lead the way.
Sorry, we exited so quickly. Can I work on putting magic mouth on the door to the stairway?
A magic on the door that leads into the stairway?
Yeah. So it's just like a little warning.
Is there anything you're gonna like program the magic mouth to say or anything like that?
In Fa's rambling kind of style, it'll still be just, hey, don't come in here. Dangerous. You shouldn't get out. Get out. And you can say up to 25 words, so I'm just gonna say get out as many other times as it takes to get to 25 words from there.
Okay.
Get out.
If there's some type of opportunistic robber that happens to bust in, this may help ward them off. Or perhaps the returning tenant, who knows.
Pretty sure.
So, let's see. Oh, hang on. Sun Kong, what are you saying here?
Oh, on Roll20? I don't know. My Twitch says Looney summoned the Wyrd.
Yeah.
Oh, yes!
Hey, he spent the money. I want to make sure he gets what he's owed.
Let's do it.
Does that say that in the chat?
Yeah,
Anywhere?
it said it
That's
earlier.
mine,
It was before we did the recap.
Oh, shit. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I wonder if it gives me like a message. I guess it wouldn't give me a message here in Streamlabs or anything like that.
Seems like it should do.
You would think.
know.
I
You would
appreciate
think,
you
yeah.
pointing it out. Yeah, if you guys notice that, that super helps me. Well, anyways, you guys head out, and it's a bright, beautiful day here in the beauty that is Halcyon, this artificial planet. And let's take a look, and let me see if I can at least show you guys. You can, of course, you would find your way back to Lushee's either way, because this is a very highly populated, civilized place with plenty of wealthy and famous members throughout the Twixt, really, because this is the wealthy faction of the Twixt, the billionaire bastions, but especially with Lushee's help, or with Zedbane's help, he's going to help point the way. But just to give you a quick reminder that this is kind of what Halcyon looks like, and you can see the areas that you can visit down below. Like if you paid Cecil for the trip over here, so you don't owe him anything until, another day passes. But if you, for example, wanted in some downtime to go check out if there is a helper's hand available, there may not be anything particular that you would need them for, but worth checking out, and whatever else you'd like.
Just to put on everyone's radar, I do need to make contact with someone here about alchemy supplies. A tabaxi named Glint has a diamond eye.
Was there a tattoo parlor here?
No tattoo parlor here. Those will be found on the Pioneer Patroller ships. Thank you, Looney, for buying that. I appreciate it. But
Glint. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Just remember, too, as you, Gloss, and everybody else would know, that along with the things that you saw on that map, that Halcyon is the business center of the Twixt because of its commerce and wealth. So this is probably one of the largest markets that you'll find. So if you want to do shopping, if you want to maybe socket or unsocket a gem, if you want to maybe see if someone could maybe craft your particular item into masterwork to slot a gem, this would be the place to do it. Perhaps that same place would be where you would find Glint, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking to check at the market first, but I wanted to see what everybody else was up to.
Yeah, it's up to you. Like I said, if I just wanted to throw that on the table, these are things that your characters would know since you've been here before, but I know as players it's probably been like however long, many months. But yeah, just things to keep in mind, and if you want to just head straight back to Lushee, you can. Or if you want to head somewhere else, this is D&D, you go where you want. You guys are walking through the streets. What are all of your passive perceptions?
Why would you, Jason, why would you say that? Why would you do that to us?
Passive?
Passive perception.
Guys, remember when I was subject 22 and I had advantage on all this? Mine's 11.
13.
My
18.
passive for 17.
Wow.
I see everything. Keen mind, Charbai.
17, you said, for Rinkaz?
18 for Fa.
Rinkaz, Fa, you guys are just following along. You are all costumed, and you are making your way back out of the Aurus passing that led into this slightly less trafficked area where some of the more elite has some housing. Most people have a residential home that's actually in a bubble that's below this whole area, but there is the top side here where people can have these business homes, so it's easier to get to their establishment. You guys are making your way back into the more busy streets, but as you do, you're not really particularly noticed because of your costumes. And similarly, Zedbane, who has probably built up some prominence, he even had some prominence when you guys were first here doing the whole bank heist, but in his garb, with his hood covering his face to stay out of the sunlight, he too is largely being ignored. So you guys are making your way through the streets. The arcane man is not particularly disguised in any other way than he would be, but the type of garb and stuff that he's in looks pretty much uniform to any of the other arcane that you've run into before, so it doesn't seem like anyone would be the wiser. As you guys are moving along, you kind of start passing through some different people, some dwarves. You see the occasional gem eye, who actually instead of eyes has 2 pieces of gems, although no tabaxis with that as you kind of look around Aesop. Rinkaz, Fa, you notice as you're just looking back and forth at all the relatively well-dressed, it's almost like, Fa, this place is almost like it kind of blows your mind, the amount of just gold. It's like, you wonder why people don't just like take a pickaxe to some of the streets themselves that have just gold paving.
Don't give him any idea.
I was gonna say, all right, so far as now, gonna start pickpocketing stuff off of everything.
It's real. You really do wonder, like, how is there any security here? Because they have gold everywhere. You could just take it, and no one would be the wiser. You're peering around. On top of that, it almost looks like 80% of the population here, they look like nobles. They're very well dressed. A lot of them are regal. You'd almost think they're royalty, but they just seem like the normal, every other person passing by. So this is clearly, as you can just see visually, this is clearly the area of the Boynair Bastion. A lot of money trades hands and stuff like that. So, but as you're peering around, you and Rinkaz both see that as Sun Kong is walking along, there is what looks like a thin, almost difficult to see because it's so small, a thin gold thread that runs from his back.
From whose back?
From Sun Kong's back, and just seems to extend almost all the way back into the Aris Passing where you guys came from.
Buddy, what is that?
Huh? What's what?
You got some schmutz on you there. I'm gonna get real close and make an Arcana check on it.
Sure.
Is he being tracked or something?
Sun Kong is like chasing his tail.
That's a 16.
That's what it looks like.
With a 16, you stare. It almost looks like a piece of thread, Aesop. So it is barely visible except for the very slight, subtle glimmer in the sunlight that gives off this gold-like appearance. It almost has a translucency to it. You go to almost... Do you touch it? Do you try and pull on it, or are you just trying to take a look at it?
I mean, I would assess if it was dangerous or not, and then if I gathered it wasn't, I would pluck at it.
So with your Arcana check, before you try to touch or mess with anything like that, you take a second to just use your arcane senses. This does seem to hold some type of arcane property.
Cool boy. Hey, you got some kind of magical doodad on your back there, buddy.
What do you mean? Get it off!
Nvidi would probably do a detect magic.
Nvidi holds up his palm. The palm glows with a bit of light, and he does the thing where he runs his hand over a couple inches away, but almost like scans the thread with a glowing hand. His eyes flicker gold a bit for a few seconds, and he tells you all that this is definitely magic of some type.
That would be something he said.
Detect magic tells you the school.
Tells you the school?
Yeah. Or, well, I guess it says can tell you the school.
Who's gonna wolf Nvidi?
Hiya!
Oh.
It's plus. Wow, 2 8s in a row.
Luke is fired.
Hey, that's not a terrible roll. What's in Nvidi's shit? What's his score?
View campaign.
I will pull up his character sheet.
Loading. Arcana +4.
So
12 all day.
12, yeah.
And what is that check from NVD for?
To identify the school.
Okay. Let's take a look. It's kind of difficult to tell, but NVIDIA would get the general sense that this is probably some type of evocation magic.
Oh.
Evocation? What does that mean?
Well, it means it's about to blow up, or
What?
it's about to teleport you somewhere.
That's not good either. What is it doing? What? Can we get it off?
Or is that conjuration? I never paid
Cut
attention.
it!
No. Evocation is when you call forth power from another plane.
Oh, right. Yeah, you're about to blow up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of something.
Get it out! Get it out!
Yeah, Glosse wants to try to smack at it and try to get it off him.
Let's say you step over and do that thing where it's like, a prissy girl trying to swat at a roach or something. You like turn your head and go slap at it a little bit. You guys watch as Glosse does this. Her hand passes right through the thread as if it was never there.
Oh,
it stays
like
right
a
in place.
Cover.
Okay.
I have a question. So, you said it's leading, like, directly behind me?
It seems to stay. It seems as though it's attached. It almost touches your back at about like chest level, and just seems to. You feel nothing. It gives you no pain or anything. It seems to just be going into your back or touching your back, and the thread extends just beyond, continues on. It's almost difficult to tell through the crowds of people. No one really picks it up or notices it. It was difficult for even you guys to notice, and it just seems to almost go back in the direction that you guys were from the Ars passing.
So weaving around people or through?
So say I turn.
Yeah.
Does it now look like it's pointing at coming out of my chest, or is it still out of my back?
As you look back, Fa, you do notice the thread it's not taut. It has a little bit of a bend to it, distending down, but it's relatively straight, like it may be attached somewhere far away to something at the same height. But as these masses of people are moving, doing their everyday things, they're just passing through it. It's not, the thread isn't moving. Sun Kong, as you yourself do like a 90-degree twist, the thread turns and cups your right side as if there was an actual piece of thread attached to your back. It stays coming from that direction. It doesn't turn with you.
Okay, so it's like a laser sight kind of on me then.
No,
Is
like
it looking
it
like that, or is it
contours
looking
to
like
you.
a string?
No, like it's actually attached to you, like a physical string is wrapping around you as you turn.
Do you think we can follow it?
I was thinking probably we follow it in a less conspicuous manner. Like we pretend like we didn't notice, and then somebody goes back the other way and checks.
Well, listen, if we're being tracked right now, they've surely already taken notice that we've stopped in the middle of the street and have started to inspect Sun Kong.
Well,
And
might
I'm
be
just
bad at their
yelling
job.
in a circle.
So back that way.
Fa, Rinkaz, as you guys are contemplating this, talking about it, because of your high passive perceptions, you notice this isn't. You have known now for quite a few hours, ever since really running into Zedbane, that the arcane man has been pretty tight-lipped. He hasn't really spoken much. He's been pretty quiet and just followed along with you guys. He hasn't really said much since then, but you do notice that his eyes seem to be fixated on that thread, and he has a bit of a worried expression on his face.
Why do you look worried? Well, do you know what this is?
Because you're about to blow up, Sun Kong. I thought we'd been over this.
It's not funny. It's up.
Evocation. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be lightning.
Okay, man, what is this?
The arcane man contemplates, thinking for just a second, and says,
"This is what I think it is. We should stay in populated areas, and we should not follow the thread back to where it goes."
Why would you say that?
This could be something else, perhaps another spell, perhaps a prank pulled on you, I am unsure, perhaps some method of scrying, but as far as arcane knowledge is concerned, I fear this may be a tracking method of a specific race who hunts my kind.
Oh dear.
What
Do
if
you think they're after you?
If this is truly from who I am thinking of, they would be after me and not you.
Oh, that's
Well-
not good either, though.
Question, are they aberrations, celestials, elementals, space fiends, or undead?
They are unfortunately neither of any of the
Damn
same.
it. Okay.
Do you know?
What?
Do you know who it is? What it is?
They are a
Anything that could help us prepare?
creature known and called the Dizantar.
Oh.
And
They would stick out in a crowd such as this, as their bodies are covered completely in dark black reflective armor.
Yikes.
Oh my.
oh, so they're kind of their heart just reflect.
What if we
So
just
they're like
cast...
camouflaged.
No, they would
No.
stick out very much in this
Out.
type of place.
Well, what if you just went invisible?
That is not a bad idea, Glace.
Okay, well, you're magic. Make it happen.
In the meantime, I would suggest, as I would assume or surmise, that they would not attempt such a act of attacking us or me specifically in such a well-populated area. If I am correct, and this truly is a Dizantar, we will have to keep an eye on this thread that has attached itself to you, Sun Kong. There will be no adverse effects to your physical nature, but they will use it as a method to keep tabs on where we are.
Okay, but why did they hunt your kind?
I do not know.
Ugh.
Until then, he says.
And as he says this, he reaches down with his long blue fingers and pushes his robe to the side. You see, it almost kind of looks like a utility belt. There's all kinds of pockets and weird-looking trinkets attached. You see him push into a area on his belt that's kind of covered with a bit of his cloak, and you watch as his form slowly shifts with translucency into full invisibility.
Wow, I can
Oh,
still
very-
see you.
Very nice.
So I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea then to just go to the market now. It's gonna be populated, so
I suppose so.
we want to go there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I would be on the lookout for shady characters. Maybe like drug dealery type looking people.
Oh, what are you trying to buy? What are you trying to get?
Oh, don't worry. It's for my research.
I mean, I could help you find people.
I don't think I'm looking for someone very specific.
Oh.
Keep an eye out for a tabaxi that has a diamond for an eye.
Okay.
Diamond dice.
Make a history check at advantage, Aesop. And whoever else would like to besides Fa.
Oh, four.
Oh.
Well, I'm not trained in history though. Dang it. 22.
Oh, shit, that's pretty good. You remember, although there could be all kinds of characters in this marketplace, Aesop, you specifically remember that last time you guys were here for your heist mission, within the marketplace, there were a number of establishments that you guys saw out of the corners of your eyes but never really visited. And one of these that you actually went into was Halcyon Investments. And this was actually a front for one of the local thieves guilds here. And you guys went to the back to meet with a contact from Deckers to get maps to the bank.
Well, I'm definitely going to check that place out first.
You guys remember that you spoke to within the back room of this investments area, which was just a front. They weren't actually selling any type of investments. You spoke to a blue-colored tiefling who smoked magicigs, and she went by the name of Bo.
Okay. I will try to find this person again. And
So,
when we were here, was I dressed as Aesop? I was dressed as Aesop, right? I wasn't dressed as Exterminator Man.
Yeah, we were
it-
ourselves, I think.
It was a good long while before you guys... It was pretty much leading right up to the heights that you guys decided to don your outfits.
In that case, when I get inside, I'll at least take my gas mask off to, show my face.
Sure.
You gonna go...
What?
Anybody to go with you, Birdface, or...
Preferably, yes, actually.
Well, I mean, we could stick together.
I look inconspicuous. Nobody ever pays attention to me. I'll go.
Do you guys think riding around in a carriage would help keep us, safe from whoever's hunting us? Because I want to buy us a carriage.
You just want to buy a carriage?
Yeah, we'll keep it on planet, but we can ride around when we're here. Wouldn't that be fun?
Listen, it's your money. I'm not going to tell you how to
It
spend
sounds like a wonderful idea.
I actually just kind of want to sit on top of the carriage.
Ooh.
Sun
That
Kong,
sounds awesome.
you actually have noticed that there is actually what looks to be a ferry service around the town that actually is a couple steeds that pull a cart. I think they passed you guys once or twice when you visited before. That is actually horses drawing a golden carriage. So this does seem to be some type of taxi system throughout the Halcyon, at least topside here.
It'd be cheaper just to buy one, maybe.
Or you could attempt to buy one, yeah. Zedbane turns to you guys and says, if you head to the marketplace, I'm going to go ahead and go meet up with Lushee and let him know that you guys are going to be stopping by soon. How about that?
That should be okay, right?
Yes, good.
Sorry, I was on mute. To your earlier comment, if you see any of those shady drug dealer types, please do let me know. Wink. And also, do we see any palanquins? Could we get one of those as well?
Now, who's going to carry a palanquin around?
What's
A giant suit of armor, a giant Goliath, a giant lizard, and yeah, that should be enough.
I tell you what, instead of buying a palanquin, why don't you come with me and Fa to this investment place?
Oh, I love investments. Plus, we can look for some of those shady drug dealer types.
Or slimy.
Oh, that too. Or alcoholic types. You guys really know how to get around. I should really spend more time with you, Fa.
You okay? I mean...
Fa is a bad influence.
Yeah, there.
Fa's a bad influence.
Zedbane bids you guys farewell and begins headed that way. He does give you easy directions for you guys to find your way to the marketplace, the Grand Glitter Glaza, as it is called here on Halcyon. Sun Kong, you can go ahead and head there, or if you'd like to peer around, make a perception check, see if you could, or persuasion, maybe you could ask around, see if there are any nearby taxi carts that could take you over to the marketplace.
Yeah, I'll look around.
I'd like to assist him by doing one of those good old-fashioned New York, "Hey, taxi!"
That's right, you yell at him. You yell at him.
Give me a persuasion / intimidation check. It'd probably be persuasion. And you got a 19, Sun Kong?
Yes.
Is that using perception to peer
perception.
around? Okay.
Yeah.
You actually notice one, Sun Kong, and as Rinkaz, you give a hearty shout out. There is a small... Fa, you notice a pair of horses from above the crowd's heads, and what looks like a golden cart begin headed your way. You hear the clop of the feet against the golden pavement. And as it heads up, you wait to see who's actually driving the thing. And it doesn't look like anybody at first, but as the crowds begin to shift and move, you now see that seated at the carriage with reins in its little flippery hands, it appears as though there is a penguin driving this taxi.
The biggest, most giant smile washes over Fa's face.
This penguin, as it moves closer, is actually larger than a typical penguin. It's actually about medium size, or I'm sorry, small size. but much larger than your standard penguin, and has a little bit of bluish, almost slightly yellowish gold coloring to its skin, and it rides up long, thick eyebrows, and the plod of the horses drawing the golden carriage comes up and stops. The penguin-looking creature stares at you all. Everyone else, you guys know this is a Dowar that you've seen in the
Helper's hand.
previous season and in the Helper's Hand. It shifts its little penguin butt over to the side of the carriage to address you guys and leans over and says, "Where you headed?"
Well, hello there, my friend. We'd like to go down to the merchants. Marketplace. Yes, that.
Very well. 10 gold pieces.
I popped 10 gold pieces.
How much more for a song?
He makes eye contact, Fob, but he's kind of almost counting heads and goes, "Gonna be a tight fit for all of ya."
Well, I'll sit on top.
I'll sit here with you.
I don't like anybody sitting with me. You could sit on top of the monkey, though.
Okay.
I climb up so fast. I'm so excited. Kong is also smiling.
I ain't got no songs, he says, turning back to you, Fa.
How about just a funny story?
You must have some funny stories working in a city like
Hey,
this.
we're on the clock here. Let's get going.
I got plenty of stories.
I-
He extends a flipper for the gold.
I pass it to him.
All right, pop in.
Scramble.
Up on top.
You all get in. You hear the clop of hooves as the carriage begins to take off. It, much to Sun Kong's, much to his recommendation, as you guys are sitting inside, it gives you a pretty closed-in, private area. It's a little packed with some of you down inside the carriage itself, but it's dark. No one's going to really be able to see inside. Sun Kong, as you sit inside, you see the thread coming out from behind you and almost look as though it is just shifting out of the carriage door like it's trapped.
Mm.
I don't like this at all.
Can they still see it in the Can they see it in the carriage?
Everyone has to squint and take a second, but now that it's been pointed out, you guys are all able to notice it too.
Where is it in the Oh, I guess this is for them to ask, but maybe see if it's attached to somebody else while it's in there, or is it just floating free? Or
It seems as though it's coming out from behind you, where it was normally attached to your back, and extends out to the carriage door, almost like it like if you were to get a string caught in the door with a closed door there. Fa, as the carriage hops along, you hear the chatter of various groups of wealthy people throughout the streets. The penguin creature turns to you. I'm sorry, Sun Kong. You were sitting on top of the carriage, weren't you?
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Is it going into the carriage?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me do a little bit of retcon. I was assuming you're in the carriage. The string still is extending from your back, although it seems to lower just a bit from behind the carriage to drop to the chest level, but seems to just extend out, and you can't really tell where it goes because people continue passing through it, seeing the end point from where the opposite end of you is impossible to really pick out.
Okay.
As the carriage is going along, the little penguin character begins telling you plenty of extremely boring sounding stories about all kinds of accounting fumbles he's had to deal with recently.
One time when I gave him back his change, I only gave him 7 cents instead of 8. Alright.
Yeah, they always call me. I know how to count numbers. Nobody else in this city knows how to count numbers.
Oh my god, this is so boring.
Did you just say that out loud?
Hey, you wanted a story. That's exciting to me.
Oh, yep, nope, it was fascinating if I didn't have a brain.
I'd like to give him a couple of gold and say, Do you happen to know a Doar by the name of Penny?
You pop open the gold encrusted blinds that lead out to the open space in front of you to be able to slip the gold through and say this to him. He doesn't look your way, Rinkaz, because he currently has the reins and is steering the way, but kind of just tilts his head towards your direction and says, nope, lots of Doar here. Don't know everybody.
Thank you for your information, sir.
Yeah. You want any other information? I'm happy to give it.
Have you,
I bet you know a lot.
Oh, I do. These little legs have traveled quite a ways.
Where can we acquire good alcohol or drugs?
Jesus. Have you ever seen some tabaxi around?
He stays quiet and pats his little gold bag next to him as it continues riding. I'd be happy to share all kinds of stuff, if you don't mind tipping.
I'll tip. We tip.
From inside the cart, I look at Aesop and I point to my gun and point at him like, yeah, can I? Okay, boss, whatever you say.
I palm a platinum piece and reach my hand out of the window and kind of like shake it at Sun Kong.
I take it and I'm like, oh, we tip well if the information is good.
Oh, absolutely, he says. His
and
eyes.
I'm waving that platinum piece like in my hand.
Oh, what are you looking to find out?
I believe we're looking for a tabaxi.
You guys new to this place?
We've
First
been here once
time!
or twice.
Yep.
Yeah, first time.
Never been.
Some of you guys look like vaccinators. You new to the business?
No. Me and Carl here been here for a while. Didn't think you were talking to us regular working schmucks.
Hey, I'm one of those regular working schmucks myself.
That's right.
But there's good money here. You guys got the good idea to come. Hey, you ever deal with that guy who was wanted? I heard he was a vaccinator himself.
What?
Wanted? Who would that be?
Something about some smuggler trying to get money from the bank vaults.
Oh, that he tried to get money. He didn't actually steal anything then?
I don't really know the full story. Just heard there was something going on. They put out plenty of flyers for the guy.
Okay.
I ain't heard nothing.
What was his name?
Oh, I got too many names stored in this noggin, he says, touching it with a flipper, to be able to remember whoever this was. Although if I'd caught him myself, that would have been a pretty penny.
Oh, what did he look like? I'd be willing to give you a little if I found him.
It's been a while now. I'm assuming they're probably still looking for him, but,
Maybe you guys should wear the vaccinator.
half-elf, I think? I don't know.
Half-elf?
I don't know of any half-elves in the organization. Maybe that fella's long gone.
Well, good riddance to him. Don't want the bad word of mouth for your company.
That's right. That's bad business.
Whack.
Anyway, so that tabaxi, right?
Yeah, we're looking for a tabaxi.
That's right. Plenty of tabaxi here. You know, they like the shiny things. Not too different from us, really.
You happen to see one with a gemstone for an eye? Looking for him. Got a job I'm supposed to take from him. Haven't been able to find the fellow, though.
Gemstone for an eye. What color is it?
That I'm not sure. I wish I could tell you. I figured that would be enough to find him. Not many folk you got other than Gem Eye that have gem eyes.
Real redundant, those gem eyes. Yeah, you would stand out. I do plenty of business over in the marketplace. There's a couple new jewelers moving in through the gym stand there. I think I saw some guy over there working. Looked like a tabaxi. Might have had something for an eye. May have been an eye patch, but it may have been a gym too.
May have been an eye.
Where have you seen
Could have
him?
been an eye. That's true.
Over by the jewelers, you say. All right.
Check the jeweler merchant. Yeah.
All right, will do.
I wouldn't mind checking out the jeweler merchant actually anyway.
Yeah, I need to get a socket into a few of my extermination utensils.
Extermination. Really technical term.
He's not
Yeah,
wrong.
They send
they
all the bad bugs to hell.
I just look at Rinkaz, say nothing.
No one else says anything.
My pest killing device.
Set for.
It doesn't take too long for you guys to make your way to the very populated marketplace of the Grand Glitter Glaza. You see a huge overpass, where columns would hold this massive roofing structure, instead just extremely 6, maybe 7 stories high, golden figures. And all across at each end of this long, just straightaway, is just merchants of all types and shops of all makes and kinds. And I'll show you guys the merchant list. You can just scroll down and you'll find, after
Halcyon.
Relicas, Halcyon. And there's quite a lot there for you to look at, all kinds of stuff. The Helper's Hand is located here. You could buy a Spelljammer if you wanted to, although they may be expensive, but they are here.
I'm just gonna buy an extra one, just to keep it in the garage of our larger Spelljammer.
I mean, ours is supposed to blow
I mean,
up.
technically, we already have one of those.
You do have one in there. Very tiny, but it is one.
Isn't this where Leona got more of the animals too?
No, that was Jadra.
So,
Hell, that place.
One of the few things they don't sell here, animals.
who wants to go where?
You guys are waved off, and have a good day, you hear the Dowar say as he...
Hey, you too, buddy.
Thank you. I gave him that platinum piece.
All right.
Aesop gave
He
me.
happily takes it and shoves it in his little knapsack at his side, and with a whip of the reins, you hear the clop of the horse's feet as the golden carriage trudges along. You also
Easy,
notice,
guys.
Fa, as you move through this marketplace, there are 2 distinct things that stand out. There are the clumps of what look like very well-dressed, wealthy people moving through the marketplace, the vendors themselves. You also see spotted around the area that you didn't really notice moving through the general conceit of Halcyon itself, that now there seem to be these tall... They almost have garb that is kind of similar to Nvidi's, a lot of white with goldish accents, and on their heads, some male, some female, on their heads is some type of helm that actually is made out of gold and actually covers their eyes. They just seem to stand at attention and seem to be posted periodically, almost closer to some of the vendors. And the other thing that you notice is about midway through this massive Glaza hall, this walkway with all these vendors, you see standing up at about maybe 14, 15 feet. It looks to be a golem, but instead of stone or rockwork that you may have at least heard or seen before, this one is made of pure gold.
Ooh.
Oh, we've seen these before.
Fawk kind of wrinkles her nose and says, "It's all a bit much, isn't it?"
The
Yeah,
people
it's-
seem to pass by these characters in this golem without much fanfare.
Yeah, people around here love to show off.
I think they're like security officers or something.
More like insecurity officers, but okay.
Oh, high five! High five! Don't leave me hanging.
I'm
Don't
doing
leave
it.
me- All right.
I'm doing it.
You all would know that these golems, as well as the general nature of these other people, these are the Gold Eye.
Cool.
All right, who wants to go where?
I'm gonna head to the jeweler's market first, and if that doesn't yield any results, I'm gonna go to the investment place.
I'll go to the
I
jewelry
follow.
market as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Rinka's,
you guys gonna buy me something?
Nope.
Maybe.
Oh,
Rinkaz, Sun Kong, Aesop begin headed over to the jeweler's merchant, Glacé, Fa, and Nvidi. Where are you guys headed to?
well, I'm going with them.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to do here, so I'll just go with them.
Let's all go together.
It's probably best we stay together, considering.
Considering what?
That we're being tracked.
I was joking. It was a joke.
Oh.
The pan was too dead.
Glacé, you do remember that going along with these guys over to the jeweler's merchant, they probably have a jeweler's kit there.
I got a jeweler's kit.
Oh, okay, cool.
Are you do jewel crafting?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool, nice.
You guys head over to a open space, this large doorway in the side of this entire large, almost wall-like area that makes up the makeup of one of the sides of this just long runaway that is this whole marketplace. And you step inside. The large raucous sounds of the vendors and the people begin to die down a little bit, although there still is a decent number of people. You walk into it's not dim light, but it's a little softer lighting, and that seems to be done on purpose because there is candle work and it's set up in a certain way to give off the various very fine looking gemstones and pieces of jewelry that give off a very reflective nature that stand out in this dim light in the jewelry merchant shop. Aesop, you sort of leading the pack since you are trying to head up to the counter, and you hear a little bit of shuffling from behind a very nice set of curtains, and outstepping from it is a tabaxi that seems a little bit older. Some of his hair is slightly thinner in some areas. He seems to have some age. A little bit of a whitish furry goatee that kind of stands out at the end of his chin. And you notice that he has straps across his head that hold a green gem over top of the place that would normally house his eye. Welcome, he says as he greets you all coming in.
Well, I'll be damned. Hey, listen, pal. I'm looking for a what was the name again? A glint. That wouldn't happen to be you, would it?
Yes, I am Glint. Welcome.
Hey, bingo, everyone! First try. Listen, I was hoping to discuss some private business with you. Maybe not on the storefront.
Vaccinators. Yeah, I was hoping to speak about the yearly inspections. Yes.
Oh yeah. You got a office or something like that? You hate this character that Aesop is playing. I love him. I love Boss.
He notices that there's a few others of you, not just with you, Aesop, but one or two other customers perusing the glass panels here, staring at the various jewelry and makeup inside. Not makeup, but the makeup of gems and stuff like that in there. He holds up a finger and steps back behind the curtain, and you see two dwarves come out from behind the curtain, and they're dressed relatively formally, and they seem to take up the area behind the counter. as he says, he seems to, you hear the shuffling of a little bit of paperwork as he comes back out with a few scrolls and parchments in hand and says, yes, come back here, he says, and he pulls open the countertop to allow you to step in.
All right, Carl, let's go.
Yeah, boss.
He stares, kind of almost giving a quick second look at the very tall, muscular lizard man who is dressed as a vaccinator himself. He pulls the curtain and looks to each of you and says, do you have a card? What are your names?
Listen. Let's talk business. There's some very pressing issues we need to talk about with your establishment, but I don't want to scare away your customers, you know?
Oh, very well. He waves you guys back. There's a dimly lit room past the curtain. There seems to be a lot of... There is an area on both sides of the wall that have those... It's like a woodwork that has boxed open spaces within and all kinds of stuffed paperwork, probably logs of sales and stuff like that. A small wooden table in the center with a decent amount of paperwork on top. And he waves you over and pulls up 2 wooden chairs and kind of splays out a hand and moves the paperwork aside so that you guys have a little bit of clear space to speak. Yes, it's been a few months past time for all of you to take an inspection of the structure.
Are we out of sight of, like, the general, like...
With the curtain pulled, you can still hear a little bit of the people outside, but you guys can talk normally and you're in the privacy of this kind of back room.
I remove my mask, and I'm gonna say, listen, sorry to pull the wool over your eyes, Mr. Glint, but I was hoping to talk to you about some other business, some very important and very sensitive business. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Aesop. I'm a wild Tycoon. You may have heard of me.
He extends... He thinks for a moment and then extends a paw to shake your hand.
I shake it.
He seems to do so cautiously.
If you haven't heard of me, that was clout that I didn't need to throw into your face.
No,
business deal.
I have heard of you before. You have some amount of popularity here.
I am conducting some very important research, and to do this research, I need 2 things. I need secrecy, and I need stained smaragdus sheets. And I was told, for that second one, you in particular would be a good tabaxi to talk to.
Stained smaragdus.
Or sand, perhaps, if you don't have the sheets.
Well, I'd love to help you guys, but I am not sure what you're talking about. I thought you were vaccinators.
Listen, it's just to get up to make sure we don't get mobbed by adoring fans. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we're not actually pest control specialists. Isn't that right, Carl?
Depends on the pest, but yeah.
That wasn't a thinly veiled threat, by the way. He's just like that.
Oh, no, we're good.
He leans back in his chair a bit and says, I unfortunately don't know what you're talking about.
Can I insight check him?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, rather than you telling me anything, I'm going to assume that he's bullshitting me. With that roll, because that's like a roll of 4. Fucking 4.
I was gonna say, could I give him 8 on that?
Well, you could roll yourself since he's made his check. You could do one yourself.
Boss is
Why
right.
are
Whatever
we
boss
like
says.
this? Why does this happen?
Because Roll20 doesn't take my payment anymore.
Thank you, Childers Art Studios. That's very nice of you for following us. Rinkaz, you are just as unsure as Aesop. However, I need you to please roll me a D10,000.
Oh no, because the Wyrd got invoked.
Oh.
God damn it.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Oh, don't explode. Don't explode. Don't turn into a fireball.
You can thank Looney for this.
Oh,
yes.
no!
Thanks.
This is spectacular.
It's not. It's not.
Ah,
though.
yes. 7006 was a good year.
It says boobs.
Let me just double check. What were you asking, Glace? Let's take a look.
I wanted to do a perception check around the room. Like, is he acting weird because something is surveilling us, kind of thing?
Well, he, as well as Aesop and Rinkez, have stepped into the back room, so you're not sure what conversation they're having right now.
All right. Never mind.
You can still make checks or whatever, but you're sort of just like...
No, that wouldn't... No, if I'm...
You and Fa are kind of just like perusing around, taking a look at... There's a lot of really... Glossy, there's a lot of really nice looking jewelry in this place.
Any magic stuff?
Perhaps.
If there's a ring of protection, I want it.
Okay.
You guys can take a look at the jeweler's merchant list. I'm pretty sure almost everything here runs up to excellent tier.
Yeah.
If you have the money for it.
I'd like a ring of protection whenever you get a second.
Rinkaz, you are completely unsure of the honesty of this tabaxi that you're dealing with. However, as you take in deep breaths, you feel like you are just getting the fullest amount of oxygen. Your lungs feel clear.
What?
It feels like you never smoked a majestic in your life if you've ever had the occasional one.
You know, these rich people in this city, boss. I mean, Aesop, I feel like I could live here. It's never been so fresh and clear. Sorry, I'm just a bit out of it, I guess.
Okay, all right, Rinkaz. All right, I'm gonna look at this guy and be like, listen, this is my life's work. I don't have time to beat around the bush here. If you want to know if we're discreet, you have my utmost confidence that if you're discreet with my information, I can be discreet with yours. And I'm gonna unfurl my wings and be like, this is what my research has wrought. I can do more of this. I just need the supplies. I can save my people.
He is a little shocked to see that you are Kinku wings, and takes a second to look at them and says, he almost loses his track of thought with what he was saying before, and says, these aren't illusory?
Touch him. I kind of flap a wing over.
No, I'll take your word for it, he says. He stares. You're not using that recording device anywhere in my vicinity, are you?
Well, I'm guessing we didn't bring it in here with us, so I'm guessing it's out with Glace right now, Jason.
Yeah, at the very least, it's probably not in
it's
this
with us.
back room.
Well, it's with the nobles we're traveling with, but as you can see, it's not back here.
He says, you see him put a furry finger into the neck area of his formal clothing, kind of pulls it out a little bit, and reorients himself and says, you're Tycoons, but you seem to be people who are of morally good standing from what I've seen of your adventures. This type of stuff would be ill-fitted for you. Things from my past I've tried to forget.
You're talking to me about things from your past that you've tried to forget. Buddy, let me tell you. Actually, don't let me tell you. We'll be here all night. I have my fair share of regrets as well, trust me.
Make a persuasion check.
Guys,
Maybe with advantage?
I have a +0 to persuasion, so that is a 7.
Can I assist?
You can. What do you say to help Aesop out? It doesn't have to be a persuasion, of course, but what do you say to help Aesop out, and then give me the roll?
I say to him that, look, I can vouch for his work. I may not be of his species or anything special myself, but we've traveled one end of this galaxy to another. And if there's anything I can say, a man who crafts something, breaks it, and then finds a way to fix it, and then take it beyond, I've seen him do scary and unimaginable things, and contain that power, and only elevate himself further. If there's anybody who you can trust, it's him.
You, similarly, Rinkaz, make a persuasion check. He seems to be listening to you guys intently.
17?
Nice.
He makes a audible swallowing sound and says, "You didn't hear this from me, but a cat used to work for some people on Kaleidos. Are you
Kaleidos?
familiar with this place?"
I'm afraid I'm not. Right, Jason, I'm not?
You ever heard of Kaleidos before?
Okay. How do you
He-
spell it?
It, here, I will paste it in the chat. He says, you probably haven't. It's a little bit of a out-of-the-way place, but there is a lot of trafficking of various spices and plenty of recreational and non-recreational things that passes through Kaleidos. You may have some luck finding more of this stuff. I was doing what I could, trying to get rid of the last bits by just pawning it off as a normal sand of no particular make. Most people are not even very knowledgeable of the stained smaragdus and its properties.
What a shame. I suppose you don't have any of that left, do you?
Got rid of what I could so that I could remain with a clean slate.
Damn.
I suppose I could... supposing you were to keep quiet, give you the general location of Kaleidos, but it's been some years since I've been there after giving the whole thing up, trying to start a new leaf, as you can surmise. There are, surrounding the planetoid, a number of strong spice winds that buffet the entire area. You would not only need to know how to get to the general area of space where Kaleidos is held, but you would also need a specific way to navigate the spice winds to reach solid ground. There is very little of it at Kaleidos. It's mostly a windy, gaseous world.
Seems like a good place to do that sort of trading.
If you were going to find the Smaragdus, most of it trades hands of the unsurly type. That may be the best place to continue your investigations.
And if I could make this worth your while, you could provide me the location, perhaps, even a safe way to traverse these spice winds?
I might, depending on what exactly you are willing to put on the table. I understand that, from what it seems like, you are doing a incredible act for your people, but I also must make a living, and
Sure.
if you were to offer up something of a certain value, it would help me to think it would help me to be able to fully trust that you are in this with altruistic means.
Oh, but of course, the Wyld Tycoons are nothing if not beneficial to our friends, right, Rencast?
Of course. But are you seeking, I mean, obviously you're in the jewelry and gem business. Is that what you're seeking? Or perhaps something to prove our worth? Which are you seeking?
Well, I'm going to be honest, you are Wyld Tycoons. My business is, of course, in the rocks, the gems and jewelry, but I'm sure you lot have come across quite a few interesting things. What were you willing to put on the table, per se?
So this is a planet of fine dealings and intricacies, correct?
Well, of course. Halcyon is the planetoid of commerce.
And people here do have a good eye for finding a majority of, real items, not fakes.
Well, there are keen eyes, yes. I among them am able to spot certain inconsistencies in product.
Well, I personally, not to beat around the bush, I personally think a good way to help drum up sales is exclusivity. And if you were to, I don't know, mount some of your gems or adorn it onto something that no one else has, well, that could easily pull in some profit, or at least attention for some of your other products.
Window dressing of some type to pull in an audience. So what did you have in mind?
I reach into my bag and I pull out one of the 2 big Tarrasque bones that I still have.
Oh, shit.
Not saying that you couldn't carve a few things into these and inlay them, or maybe just put this out as a display piece. Not saying that, a beautiful amethyst necklace or a gold bracelet hanging off a Tarrasque bone. You don't see that very often.
His tail already flickering like a curious cat's would, but as you say Tarrasque, he almost pops up from his chair, the audible sound of groaning woods shifting behind him. He grabs one of those like gem monocles and holds it up to his single actual eye and peers at the bonework.
Did we have footage of us killing this thing? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, we had all sorts of
Absolutely.
great footage. It was like, we're never going to top this episode footage.
Okay, good. Then I refer to that and say, I'm sure you would be able to pull it up. I mean, not cross-promotion, but you could even maybe show a little of it to be like, see, it's from this very creature.
His ears are flicked your way, but he is silent as he studies, holding this magnifying piece to an eye, studying very closely the bonework. He slowly pulls the eyepiece away and stares at you. This is from the actual creature.
Correct. I saved a few pieces and a bit of the blood.
And if I were to have this piece, I would be able to say that it was a gift from the Wyld Tycoons.
That's right. Literal memorabilia from our adventures.
That might even sweeten the pot a little bit further. Not any Tarrasque, the one that we killed.
Your excursions into the territory of a Tarrasque and its eventual downfall by your hands. It was the shot heard round the world for most of you. It's what got your names on the map.
That's right.
If I was to have an actual piece of the creature itself displayed on a storefront window, adorned in my product.
We'll even authenticate it for you.
How so?
Correct.
Well,
And-
you can have our literal signatures. I am somewhat of a calligrapher myself. I could write something up for you.
And perhaps
I could even do...
some word of mouth of glints, amazing jewelry.
How about we finish any dealings here, and if I heard right, maybe over the comms, that I think one of our other members might be interested in purchasing something from your establishment today. What better than maybe a setup saying, wow, this ring and or gemstone is beautiful. Where did you get it? Ah, over here. And we could point over to your shop and even sign the bone or authenticate it. A little plug for you as well.
You see a toothy grin spread across his face. Yes. You didn't call yourselves the Tycoons for nothing. You certainly know how to please a businessman.
But of course, we are nothing if not business people ourselves. Now I can get started on that authentication for you, but I do need the location. This, what was it, Kaleidos place?
Kaleidos, yes. Look, I haven't been there in years. I wouldn't remember myself. But if you are willing to do this for me and my shop here, this would be a boon to my business. I will get with some people this evening, and if you would allow me 24 hours, should be able to drum up some plans, some star charts, if you will, to be able to navigate the spice winds so that you could reach Kaleidos proper.
Excellent. We'll bring the bone back then. Perfect. We
Now,
have some business to attend to anyway.
I no longer know any contacts on the planetoid itself, but at least it would get you there to continue your search.
Well, one last insight check, just in case he is kind of trying to hide something there. That's a 15.
It sounds like he's actually being kind of honest. Like he kind of made a point that he's trying to leave that life behind, so he probably doesn't know anybody left there.
All right, fair enough. Listen, if you can just get me there, then you will be doing the Kinku people a great service.
Not to push any boundaries. An honest answer. We do still have a bit of perhaps shopping to do with you. Any chance that you could maybe offer a little assistance in that? Nothing to break your bank, just to help us along our way. I mean, I if you're able to maybe inlay one of my weapons just with a socket to gem, and I know our friend over here may be looking for.
I kind of just like look back at Rinkaz, just like just ever so slightly out of the corner of my eye.
I have some of the most artisan of paws when it comes to these enchanted gems that you use for your travels. I will need a few days for something such as this, working the inlay to craft into whatever this piece of yours would be takes time, and I am a stickler for the details. It would take 3 or 4 days, but I could offer it to you for 5,000 gold. The normal price being 10.
Just to make a socket?
A socket that you could put any type of enchanted gem work inside, creating whatever mundane item it would normally be to something of pure arcane power. I'm sure you being not only an adventurer but a wild knot, you certainly have made a decent amount of coin in your day.
Allow me to think it over just for a little bit longer.
Of course.
We're definitely still on this evening for the bone trade for the star chart and all that.
Yes. Let us return your recording device, this arcane wreck. We can have a bit of advertising fun, if you all don't mind, and afterwards I will work on getting you the things you need ASAP.
But of course.
return to my shop here within 24 hours. Give it about a day, and I should have everything ready for you. Just ask for me if I'm not at the counter.
Of course, we'll do. And, Clint, I want you to know this means a lot to me. And no matter what you did in your past, I'm sure I did far worse. And what matters now is how we can make ourselves better. Thank you, my friend.
I am happy to help. I only wish that I could come to the forefront and say it louder. But I'm sure as you, we must keep some things hidden away from prying eyes.
That's right. That's very true. I'm gonna put on my gas mask, and I'm gonna loudly say through the curtain, "Yeah, so just hit him with the spray every so often. He'll be fine."
What boss said, I'll extend my hand out to his for a shake, and then wink my eye at him as I shake it.
He can we get some winks in the chat? Yeah. He goes to shake your hand, and another toothy grin on his face, and says, of course, I appreciate your time, gentlemen. Now, you said you had some type of business affair that we could drum up for the storefront here.
I walk out and elbow Glacé and be like, do a promo spot for him.
Okay, listen up, everybody. We are here at
Glint.
Jewelry store. Oh, and look at all these fabulous, magical, gleaming pieces of art. Look at these prices. Oh, and look at the craftsmanship. Oh!
Starting today, he almost moves in front of you, Glacé. You'll find this, an actual relic from the Tycoons' time, on that strange planetoid where they faced down that mighty Terras creature. Yes, stop by my shop and you can get a good look at it yourself.
You heard it. Straight from Glint. The man with the plan. The cat with the fuzz. The...
Gym for an eye.
Gym for an eye. I mean, people, he's got a gym for an eye. That is dedication.
You know he knows his stuff?
He is very ecstatic that you guys are doing this for him. And you guys finish your recording. He takes some time to set up in one of the open windows to set up this large piece of bone and adorns it almost gaudily with all kinds of gem and jewelry. There's actually a small crowd that begins to form a little bit, taking a look at the strange bonework. And as he does this, Glacé, Fa, did you guys... Well, now that you've all mingled back out, did anybody want to actually make any purchases here at the shop? You don't have to. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, I would like to buy a ring of protection.
All right. Let's see. Ring of protection. You notice that there is only one. It's not even on display. There's just like a voucher for it, and you grab that. you hand it off to one of the dwarfs, who steps back behind the curtain on the opposite side of the room that Ringkaz and Aesop went into, and stepping back out, opening a obsidian-looking box. You see within a well-crafted ring, a ring of protection. This is the only one that they have here.
I would love to take that off your hands.
You hand over the 5,000 gold.
Oh, yes.
And you now have yourself a ring of protection.
A wise purchase.
Let's see, what's the ring of protection do for you?
It gives me...
+1 to saving. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And armor, if I'm correct.
1 to AC and 1 to saving throws.
Yeah, it's like cloak of protection. It does the same.
Thank you, League of Explorers, for the bits. That's always nice of you. Thanks for stopping in, too. Yeah, you receive this ring. You, keep in mind, have to attune to it, so it doesn't provide its effects immediately, but you know if you spend some time attuning and connect with it, that it'll make you a bit hardier, stronger, and you'll be a little more deft and able to stave off ill effects that may come your way.
It's
The merchant nods, taking the sack of gold from you, and tells you that he is grateful for your purchase. Anybody else? Any other shops in general? If you're done in this general vicinity, do you want to visit anywhere else? Seems like Aesop and everyone has wrapped up everything here.
the book and maps merchant, of course.
Jason, I had a question about the potion and herb shop. There's a rare item called Very Rare Herbs for 500 gold. And it says it's used to make rare potions. Does that provide any sort of mechanical benefit for me whatsoever?
Let's take a look.
I don't think they have any description. Just thought it'd be interesting.
Is that on the excellent list?
It's on the one that's not quite excellent.
Okay, the good list. Let's see. Herbs very rare.
Yeah.
Do you require items when you craft things?
Not usually. I think it's just gold.
That's what the gold is, right? Yeah.
Give me a Actually, no. Give me a D4 roll.
Cool. So 3.
They have some very rare looking herbs that you have heard about and maybe at least seen before in your time as being an alchemist, Aesop, but the specific nature of these herbal components have never been able to actually sit in your hands. There are 3 up for sale that are for 500 apiece. If you give me a nature check.
Okay.
At advantage.
I'm real good at it. Well, I'm so good at it, you wouldn't believe it. That's a 28.
Before I tell you your nature check, please give me a D10,000 roll.
Ah, fuck the wild.
Yeah.
The weird.
Those herbs smell good. Not as good as the air, though.
1619.
1619.
When I was just a boy. And she was a girl.
Bleh.
You don't make it anymore.
Glosse, as you're watching Aesop do this deal, it almost looks like he gets just like an inch or 2 shorter.
Oh
No!
The vendor doesn't even seem to notice.
interesting.
Aesop, from the 3 that are here, with your nature check as you take a second to study them as the vendor is holding them out your way, if you are to use, I was going to say, at least 3 of these in one of your... Actually, let me take that back. If you use... Every time you use one of these, if you were to purchase all 3, or just one, up to you. Every time you use one when you're trying to craft another solution of your serum, it'll give you a +2 to your roll to successfully create.
I buy all 3.
All right.
So if I use all 3, does that give me a +6 to make
It will
serum?
give you a +6 to successfully make the serum.
Hell yeah, I buy that. That's 50 platinum. Gone. Done. 50 platinum.
All right.
Wait, no.
You-
100.
You have
Platinum?
Yeah, 'cause
emptied
they're
out
500.
his stock. But you know that these will be very useful for you specifically.
Hell yeah.
Just keep that in mind, that it'll give you that bonus when you go to brew next time, if you can find all the needed ingredients. The quality level, let's take a look, of Tomes and Scrolls on Halcyon.
Tomes and Scrolls?
Tomes and Scrolls
Excellent.
is excellent, and then, let's see, you were asking, yeah, it's excellent quality.
I will go with Senkong there. to Tomes and Scrolls.
Okay, you guys head over there.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's not where I'm going. I'm sorry. I want to go to the books and maps merchant.
Okay.
Oh,
But I'll go with you guys.
They're in the same vicinity. They're just two shops adjacent to one another. One looks more eccentric than the other.
well,
What were
we
you
gotta go to the
looking?
weird one first, then.
What were you looking for inside the Tomes and Scrolls merchant?
I'm looking for spell scrolls. Ritual books, are they like stuff as a wizard you copy into your spell book?
Yes, you'll see on the actual merchant thing that they can be copied.
Sweet. Alright, so I'm looking for 3 in particular.
Okay.
Illusory script is first level. Identify, first level. Phantom Steed is third level.
Nice.
Hell
Yeah.
yes!
Can you? Let's go one by one. What's the level of the first one? What's the name and what's the level?
Illusory script is first level.
Okay. And give me a D4 roll.
4. Yep, 2.
He has 2 ritual books
Oh.
in stock, and one of them just so happens to be illusory script.
Ah,
That'll be 100 gold for that one. What's the next one?
Identify.
Okay.
First level as well.
Just so happens that the other book, the only one left that is first level, happens to be identified.
Ah, giddy.
You said the one after that was Phantom Steed?
Right, which is a 3rd level.
3rd level? Give me a high or low
Oh boy.
luck roll. You call it and roll it.
Okay. Alright, so I want to say high, so low.
Oh.
Yeah!
Yeah.
That's how you play that game.
And then give me a D4 roll, please.
4. There's the 1. There's the 4.
Okay, the merchant still has a couple ritual books left in stock. This is a relatively busy place. He just so happens to have a ritual book for Phantom Steed, 3rd level. That'll be 500 gold pieces.
Sweet. Alright, so I'm 700 altogether.
Alright. He happily hands you your items.
Oh boy. I'm gonna read so much.
Anything else from the Tomes and Scrolls merchant?
Except for me.
Okay.
Some
If
choice fun spells you got there.
Yeah.
If nothing else, Sung Kong, you walk into the adjacent establishment, the Books and Maps merchant.
Excellent. Now, if I remember correctly, I think I've already bought at least the treasure map here, the excellent one.
Yes.
Have I bought the planar map here as well already?
I don't believe you have.
I would take one of those.
It leads to Kaleidos.
That'd be fun.
For 1,000 gold, the
1,000?
attractive, elven, well-dressed vendor heads into the back, taking your voucher because they don't put stuff that is this expensive and rare out front for anyone to have prying eyes about, and brings you a very well-maintained and regal-looking wrapped scroll that seems to be a rolled parchment with some type of map on it, though it is rolled up and nicely kept in place with a almost goldish looking band. That will be 1,000 gold pieces, she says.
Hand that over.
Okay.
And, I'm gonna see if they have any of the Atlas known world.
Let's take a look. The Atlas
1d4 minus 2.
is very accurate but not overly detailed. Okay. Give me a d4 roll.
Minus 2?
Yep.
Ah,
She is unfortunately out of the atlas.
sold out. All right, no problem. I'll come back next time.
She tells you to come back within like a 10-day, and they usually are able to restock on most of their items, although the planar map is unfortunately an exceedingly rare item, and it would take her some time to get her hands on something like that again.
I'm sure we'll be back. I don't know if we're gonna be within 10 days, but 10 days, but we'll be back. I'm sure.
Well, very well.
I was just looking. How does Invidi's ritual caster work? Because there's like only 3 rituals for warlocks.
That is a player question, so that is out of my wheelhouse.
You could message him on Facebook. He's active.
I think part of it is he got to choose spells from other domains also.
Okay.
For his background.
I was trying to find him some ritual over here, but.
Like I said, you could probably ask him.
Seems like a lot to do.
He's got a cool ritual where he can try to talk to his book and totally go insane.
That's the best ritual.
Okay.
We're all doing that one. We just don't know.
Sun Kong, you happily grab your planar map that is wrapped up nice and tidy for you under an arm, and if there's nothing else, you guys are welcome to carry on.
Let's carry on.
Where to next, fam?
Lushee, shall we?
Let's go.
I need to hit Lushee up for some cash.
Didn't he just pay us?
I'm still poor. I don't buy it.
He's cash poor.
That rare books guy took all my money and only gave me these 3 books.
That's called buying things.
Before we leave, say like while we're in the shop, could I see the golden string on me? Golden thread?
You turn around and still see attached to you the golden thread.
Even when we're inside.
Yes. It seems to run out the front of the entrance of this establishment.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
You guys.
Before we leave, also actually, can I check out the knickknacks merchant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the helper's hand. We forgot about them.
Yeah,
we're fine. I don't know if we need the helper's hand.
it's up to you. You don't have to. You guys go wherever you please. You want to visit the knickknack shop?
Yeah.
All right, you head over to Sindara's Quandary. Excellent quality and below.
Cool name.
We should have started here.
Why? What are you looking at?
Oh, I don't know. I just nothing specific.
Well, it's cool now because you guys are at a level and have gathered enough coin where you can actually purchase some of these really sick things now that you've come here. What are you gonna ask, Sun Kong?
What was I gonna ask? Oh, what's the dragon anti-set? Is that like a game?
It's like D&D's chess.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh,
It's
because
actually-
there's actual dragon chess.
Oh no!
But
Yeah,
then there's
three dragon ante is just like the cups and balls.
Oh, that could be fun.
I can show you how to play that.
Oh, what's a
Has that.
Troca deck? Ooh, what's that?
Troca, it's fortune tellers.
It's tarot nonsense for superstitious people.
Ooh, what's the Lantern of Revealing do?
It probably reveals things.
If you
what's
use
a
it,
bell do?
you can see invisible things, and I think like ghost or invisible items, invisible text.
Let's see. Lantern of Revealing. While lit, this hooded lantern burns for 6 hours on 1 pint of oil, shedding bright light in a 30-foot radius, dim light for an additional 30 feet. Invisible creatures and objects are visible as normal.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I'm gonna buy caltrops, a Taroka deck, and a tinderbox. I got plans for Saturday night.
Oh my.
You are able to purchase all of these things. Just make sure to mark down whatever the total of that gold would be,
What is that?
and they're in your inventory.
There's some shenanigans happening.
What is
Yeah.
happening to the arcane man?
I am just putting a animated marker on him to keep you guys reminded that he is currently invisible.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm gonna get the 3 dragon ante set because that sounds cool.
All right.
I can show you how to use it. I was literally proficient with it.
That sounds cool. It's only 1 GP? Okay.
Here, I'll show you how it works.
Sounds like fun.
Have a sit down. Alright, now watch real close. There's a P in one of these cups. See it? Ding, ding. Now I'm going to mix them around. Where's the P? Find the P. Lucky man finds the P.
Should I roll perception?
Roll
pick one.
perception or history or sleight of hand.
Oh, look at that. Lucky man wins. Now you want to put money on it and try it for real?
Maybe back on the ship, but this is fun. I do like this.
Yeah, it'll get real fun.
Fall laughs menacingly.
Tee.
You gather your things up, Sun Kong, after a little bit of fun with Fa. Is everyone ready to head to Lushee's domain?
Yes.
Alright. You guys packing quite a few fun gathered things in the marketplace, tucking them away in your pouches, bags, and various things. Begin heading out, working your way through the marked city streets and finding your way to a very tall spire that you remember ascending quite a few flights of stairs to make your way up back to Lushee's place. As you guys actually approach, there are 2 Gold-Eye who stare you guys down, and as you approach, they do that thing where they cross their gold staves to block off the path, and one of them says, "What business do you have here?"
And this should be when we throw off our costumes, be like, out of the way, we're the Wyld Tycoons.
I mean, I'll follow your lead on that.
Sure, okay.
They
Help me, Glace.
Oh, yeah, Glacé will aid him in that.
Seeing that you guys are the Wyld Tycoons, you watch as the 2 pull away their staves and say, "Tycoons, Lushee was expecting you. Please head upstairs."
They just make a Jesse and James type of entrance.
That's what me and Glace did.
Well, let's go.
You guys head up the stairs. It is quite a few flights up. Some of you a little heavier of breath than others. You finally make it close to the top. You've met with Lushee before, so you know the general floor and area that you need to get to. There is 2 more Gold-Eye standing in attendance, though they now seeing you guys kind of having revealed yourselves. There's not a lot of like passerbys. This seems like a pretty elite building, so you're not too afraid of just being noticed by the general public, especially this high up. And so the 2 Gold-Eye notice you guys clearly revealed as the Wyld Tycoons, and one of them turns to open the very elegant looking door that leads into Lushee's office. You all step inside and find Lushee sitting at his desk and table, a glass of wine in hand, seeming to be carrying on a conversation with Zedbane, who sits on the edge of the table. And he turns and says, "Tycoons, Tycoons, please, please come in."
Well, don't mind if I do. I walk.
"So, please have a seat," he says, and there's plenty of lush couches that surround the area here. "How is everyone doing?"
Oh, we are excellent, of course. How have you been, Lushee?
Oh, my dear, I have been fantastic. There's some minor setbacks here and there, but that's typical of any business. I know my main stars, at least, he says, tipping his cup towards your guys' way, are in good health and bringing in quite the fame and fortune, it seems.
He's so kind to us.
Oh, we couldn't do it without you, Lushee.
Of course you couldn't, but that's why I'm here to help.
What a guy.
Is that
Well,
fake
we
here?
Zedbane's here. He gives you guys a nod as you step in. So, Tycoons, I was curious, what brings you back to Halcyon, other than to spin probably the mountains of treasure you've obtained in your time adventuring out there in the Twixt?
Hard drugs.
Oh,
He's joking.
Wink.
Joking. Don't
No.
wink.
Fuck did we get hard drugs?
Comments.
we've spent all this time traveling to Twixt and showing everyone what wonderful times you can have around the Twixt. But you know, why not do it here on good old Halcyon? Show what kind of good times people can have here.
Excellent. That sounds amazing. You Tycoons deserve a little time to spend a couple leisurely days enjoying yourselves.
And I think we had a question for you also.
Of course.
Thought something maybe you could help us with.
What can I do for the Wyld Tycoons? He puts his chin on his pressed hands on his desk.
Well, we're trying to find a reigar.
No, a reigar. A
Reigar.
reigar.
Fine.
No, but it's a reigar. We're trying to find a reigar.
We're trying to find a reigar.
A reigar, you say?
Yes.
Any particular reigar you're trying to hunt down?
One who might have experience in being able to help us find how would you
A
describe
builder,
it?
a crafter.
Oh, my dear, all reigar are craftsmen.
Oh.
Well, the best one. We have a friend who needs help, and we need to get her the best help we can find.
Oh, trying to get any one of the reigar to admit that any one of them is the best would be a mighty challenge.
Okay, well, one that specializes in bodywork.
Well, also that's why we come to you, because we know you know the best.
So, you're trying to hunt down a reigar, none specifically, but one who hopefully has a skilled hand.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
I had some news to share with you. Hold that thought.
Oh no, but we love news.
Lay
I
it on
think
us,
we
Lushee.
can turn this into something.
Oh.
It's coming to me now, he says. He takes a drink from his wine glass. I was hoping to ask you all for something. You see, with the current state of Siege Ball, not currently having a captain here in Halcyon, what with your sister missing and all, glacé, I was looking into other avenues of generating excitement, eccentricity, attention to pull people away from their everyday lives and all the terrible political nature of the things happening throughout the Twixt, and just make people have an entertaining time. Pull their eyes away from all the terrible news happening across the universe here. My plan, as I'm sure Zedbane may have shared with you, was to throw a huge New Year's Gala Extravaganza celebration. It's going to be held down in Lux, at a place called the Luxelor Stadium, in 2 days as New Year approaches. It'll be the Twixt's 102nd year being alive. Just a baby in universe terms.
What are your plans for the entertainment?
The plan is a grand one.
Uh-huh.
A premiere of my newest piece of entertainment. A game show called Let's Get Wild. Hosted by the Bastion's very own Dandy.
Oh.
It's a crazy and exciting arena-style competition that has wild knots such as yourselves competing against one another.
Oh my.
Oh, this sounds like fun.
I had some plans for Halcyon's biggest movers and shakers to be there for the premiere. This would include the Bastion's owners themselves, Dandy's parents. Also, I was hoping that Zedbane, being a musician, along with Pearl and Tourmaline, her sister, could hopefully perform some fun diversion after the entire competition happens. The plan was to invite you all for a signing tomorrow, to sign some flyers, and as well as make a bit of coin on the side to help drum up not only your reputation, but also some attention to the premiere itself. The following day, after tomorrow, in 2 days' time, when New Year's comes striking around, the premiere would happen at Luxor Stadium. I originally intended you for just to make an appearance in some lavish balcony area where I could fill you full of plenty of drinks and fine foods, but now I'm thinking. You want to pull the attention of a reigar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even me, as somewhat of my status, it's not so simple as simply giving one a buzz through one of our phones and hoping that they appear. They are above quite a few many things. They are the elite of the elite. If you want to gain their attention, you'll need to do something that pulls in their attention. How about this? Yes. You don't just sit up in the stands and watch. You participate
I had
in
a
the game
feeling
show.
That's where this was going.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
Yes! Do we all get matching uniforms?
Oh, wear whatever you please.
Excellent.
Yes. Hang on a second. Zedbane, hand me that phone, he says. Zedbane plops up off of the desk and grabs a goldish-looking, round, slightly translucent-looking stone that has a number of glitter-like affectations inside. Glace, you know this is a piece of phone technology. It's an arcane device that can call anyone around the same planet. And he hands it over to Lushee. Lushee pulls it up to an ear, and he says, "Orban, please." "Yes, Orban. Tell the current Wild Knots for the event that they have been replaced with something much more interesting."
Uh-oh.
"No, I don't care. Give them whatever they want. Gold, doesn't matter."
We'll
Good,
take the
good.
gold.
He puts the phone back down.
Do we have the gold?
Oh, let me tell you, this is going to be amazing. There will be all kinds of goodies in store for you. It never crossed my mind to have you compete. But seeing as you are quite famous around these parts, have you been getting a lot of attention on your time here?
We've been traveling incognito, and I just stared at
Absolutely.
Oh, I can totally understand. That will make it all the more exciting when you reveal yourselves for this book signing tomorrow.
Oh.
Or, I'm sorry, flyer signing?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, it'll be a complete surprise. Nobody
We
knows
could do
we're
a
here.
pop-up performance. Oh my god.
Yes, that would be amazing. There are plenty of fans for each of you, as a matter of fact. You all have your stands, he says.
Aesop throws up in his mouth a little bit.
Whichever what, sorry?
It's
Stand.
yeah, it's fans. Yeah.
Oh,
We'll
fan.
have fans, and we're gonna have a booth.
Oh, I get it. I heard stands with a DS. Stand.
Oh. You're all from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He says,
Turn the gun on myself.
It all makes sense now.
so it sounds like all of you are interested in participating then.
Question.
This sounds like so much fun.
What?
That's what I like to hear, Sun Kong.
My team's gonna be called the Mongooses. You can be on my team.
What are we going to be doing exactly? Like, it's not like a physical thing, is it? Because
Allow me to fill you in on some of the details. Keep in mind that you don't need to remember all of this. It will be explained again during the game show, as they want the audience to understand the rules. You'll be participating in what is an arena-style competition, full of all kinds of areas that houses different items that can be interacted with, that may both help or hinder you during the match. Every round that passes by, the arena will undergo a certain controlled, weird complication that may add a bit of flair and fun to the game. Don't worry about the viewers in the stands. As with your siege ball match, the arena will be fortified with a semicircle of a wall of force by some of our best wizards here on Halcyon. The goal of the game is for you to take out the other competitors and survive long enough yourself.
survive, like just survive in game, not like actually survive, right?
You are allowed to go all
Lushee.
out, Glossy.
Too long a pause. Too long a pause. Too long a pause.
Don't worry. I, as I mentioned with the wizards, have put together some of Halcyon's best. They have created a powerful death ward over the arena.
Lushee, I don't think, I mean, based on our last experience within an arena, I don't really trust your wizards. You know, that whole experience with the, who was it? It was like, was it the Incubus? I don't remember.
Oh, Glosse, I've already forgotten that affair. Let's just say that the ones who were made the small misstep have been replaced.
Okay.
See, they've sorted out all the bugs.
They've
Perfectly
dealt with
safe.
it, Lasse. It's perfectly safe.
What could go wrong?
I hate all of you.
How many safety nets does one boat need?
Oh, I don't think they even have a safety net. I think it's just a wall of force. That's.
A wall of force and a death ward.
I don't.
If
Don't
the death
forget
ward
the death ward.
triggers,
Glosse.
you'll be considered forfeit, but you'll immediately teleport out into the stands where you'll be safe.
Okay, I like the sound of that. So can we be on like a team, or do I have to like fight Sun Kong? Like, how does that work?
Well, in terms of teams,
Uh-huh.
you will all be facing one another.
Okay, well,
However, it is not a free-for-all. You have the option of choosing whether you wish for it to be a 3-on-3 game or 3 teams of 2. On top of that, you can even choose who you'd like to partner with.
Lushee, are you just hosting an event where we all beat each other up?
Yes. Yes.
I appreciate your honesty. I'm in.
Too long a pause.
Yes.
Wait, no, actually, that was the right amount.
That was the perfect amount of pause.
If you teleport outside of the wall of force, you'll be considered forfeit, so you'll need to stay in. For the safety of those in the audience, he says, holding a finger towards Glacé. Now, let me sweeten the pot. There will be rewards at the end of this. But first, let me just continue helping you understand. Items and treasure that you will be able to acquire in the arena are bound to it. You can't remove those things. But you can make use of them. If they're carried out of the arena, they will immediately vanish, and they'll reappear in their normal resting place. You're permitted to use any of the things that you find, but there is a ban on healing potions or other items that restore hit points.
I suppose that's fair.
What's hit point?
Yeah. Familiars or other companions of animals, if you have them, are permitted to remain in the arena even if their owner has forfeited, and they can even attempt to influence the match under their owner's direction.
Wait, we can bring pets?
Oh no.
I'm with Kong.
I'm with Kong.
Oh no.
If a
Oh,
forfeit
God.
player has a familiar that was in some type of pocket dimension, as these arcane users are before they became forfeit, they can use their action on their turn to conjure it inside of the arena gates. This would allow players who are eliminated early on in the match to continue enjoying the game, even from the stands. This isn't all about just brute force, Glosse. To win the game, it's more than just being the standing victor. There is a point-based system that will be dictated by certain interactions. You will all gain points, for example, surviving a round, knocking one of your fellow players out to the stands, being the most entertaining,
Oh, I'm in.
interacting with the most things in the arena. There are plenty of rules, but don't worry about remembering all of these. The point system will be chiseled and displayed on the stone walls throughout the inside of the arena, so you'll be reminded at all times. All points of interest within the arena, too, will be explained by Dandy for the contestants before the game begins. And if you happen to forget mid-match, Dandy will even be able to remind you of the current things that you can do and answer questions, if you have them.
I laughed at Lushee and say it's kind of hard to read the rules on the wall when you're splattered on them.
Oh no.
That's true, but don't forget the Death Ward.
Don't forget the Death Ward. It's
Even
perfectly safe.
if you're going on 3 teams of 2, we have built a specific selection of helpers' hands. Each of you will be allowed to pick one of 3 helpers' hands provided to you for further support. Any of your armor and weapons can be taken into the arena, but again, healing potions are restricted, though healing magic is allowed.
Oh, thank goodness.
When one team is left standing, they will immediately have to face off against one another, with only one victor able to remain.
Oh my, this is quite the involved scenario we have here.
And then when there's only one contestant left standing, that's it, the game's over. But remember, although you may be the last remaining contestant, and you will earn some extra points for that, that doesn't mean that you receive the most to get first place. So, Glosse, don't worry if you're not a full-blown fighter. The arena allows for various ways to earn points and claim victory.
Okay.
The idea, you see, is to not just pull in pit fighters. You can find that anywhere out in the Twixt. What we're having is specific, interesting, eccentric matches with you wild knots, covered in your items and magic. It'll be one hell of a show.
A question, you said healing potions were not permitted. What about other potions?
Are you talking about certain items that will give you substantial boosts, but not necessarily increase your health?
Uh-huh.
Well, that would be considered part of your equipment, and allowed.
Excellent.
Once the game is ended, all contestants' points will be tallied, and you'll be ranked from first to last. Contestant treasures will be rewarded in conjunction with your gain points. So even if you placed last, you will still gain something. So none of you should give up, no matter what.
I'm not gonna lie, this kind of sounds like a win-win for all of us. I mean, no matter who
Exactly.
wins, we get something, right?
Treasures include platinum pieces, weird bits, vouchers for vendors of various means, and even the possibility of magic items.
Well, I mean, yeah, since the death word's definitely going to be up and nobody's going to get hurt, seriously, that sounds like a win-win.
Nobody's gonna get hurt.
I think I'd do it even if there was no death ward.
I'm totally in.
Glosse, that whole incident before certainly was a rattling time, but you have to admit, it sure made for quite the good show.
Absolutely, it did. Yes. Yes.
But again, there will be plenty of chaos without needing any unneeded interruptions.
Like, die.
Well, close to dying, but there's a death ward. So, again, I don't expect you to remember much of that. It will be explained again, and if you have questions even during the match, you can ask. But for the time being, I need to know. And please, take some time if you need. But what type of teams were you thinking?
Fuck, come here.
Yeah?
Can you fly?
That's a good question, I think, so maybe. Not specifically.
Alright, well, it was worth a shot. Good luck with whomever you end up
You see Lushee, sit back in his chair with a grin on his face and swirl the wine in his glass. He seems to be very happy with this whole thing that has turned out and just allows you guys to chat with one another.
Rinkaz, buddy, pal.
The real question, though, do we want to do 2 teams of 3 or 3 teams of 2?
Oh, it's got to be 3 teams of 2, right?
Okay.
That's
What?
so much more interesting.
But there's 7 of us.
Huh?
Nvidia, Aesop, Glace, Kong, Fa, Renkez, and Chemo.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
But they'll help us hands.
Unfortunately, the max would have to be 6.
Fair enough.
Then I'll pull security duty.
What?
Don't get
No.
me wrong, I've been on one edge of this galaxy to another, and I'm all for a good fight. But those people we talked about seeing in the place that's a little far down south before, I don't want it to be one of you guys. I'm far from magic being on my side.
You're afraid that you're going to kill one of us.
Really, Rinkaz. I'd like to see you try.
Rinkaz, we can't have the wild Tycoon sans you, the burly lizard man who wants to kill everyone. This is a perfect opportunity for you to do so.
Listen, buddy. Carl, right? Look, I got the scroll raised dead. So if anything happens, we'll just take it out of your paycheck, right?
Last time we brought anything back, it grew about 4 feet, turned white, and now kind of lumbers.
Oh, and Nvidia can bring things back too.
Yeah, you're fine, Rinkaz. It's fine.
There won't be any need for such a thing anyway. There's a death ward.
Death
There's a
ward.
death ward.
Death ward.
Uh-huh.
Death ward.
You
I
don't
don't-
want to be a giant, though, Recast? I mean,
I don't know. I don't trust the ink on the back of my neck. Plus, I'd feel safer letting you guys kill each other while I kept an eye out.
Buddy, come on, it's your old pal Aesop. We've been through thick and thin. You know, I
Yeah.
wouldn't let any of us die on my watch, and you don't have to worry about me dying because we're on the same team.
Actually, because you know what would be beneficial to you is being a giant lizard, like a giant lizard, powerful T-Rex like you were before. Remember that you were in your prime. Oh, and if you get knocked out, you can always just shoot people. I think it would be more beneficial for you to be on my team.
She's a liar and a bitch! Don't listen to her!
Rinkaz would open his flask, take a drink, lower his eyes, and say, "You may have been there to save us, but not someone else." And he walks out of the room.
Oh. I
So,
don't know what happened there.
Are we good with chemo then?
Yeah. I'm sure he'll love to perform his
Look.
otherwise private act of fighting in front of
Lushee
Two characters.
Lushee pours a tall glass
On
of
separate
what looks
teams.
like expensive wine into a glass and says, "Someone go give this to him. I know he can be moody, but he's one of the OGs of your group. Convince him somehow. Come on."
Yeah. Why don't you give it to me? I give it a shot.
If he wants more security there, that's easy. I can get more security there.
Oh, shit. Wait, no. I can't. No, I can't make the conversation.
What's
I was
happening?
trying to think of a way to convince him Rinkaz to fight instead of chemo, but Far wouldn't know that, so she can't.
Give me that glass of wine.
Of course. He hands it over.
Yes, Glace, do it. You can convince him.
This is just a fun event. I would like everyone to participate.
Because
Kong wants to
Darling.
talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
as good of a point that you have, for very good reason, I think it would be safer for us if you were in there. What if something goes wrong and you're outside?
I look around and I drop my voice as low as possibly can to her and say, this planet, these people, made people
Mm-hmm.
into money.
We know. We have to find out more, but we also have to keep a front up. And we also have to get paid. And
Hmm.
this is probably a good way to get paid and items. And I think it's safer if you're inside of the death ward with us.
I'll
Stepping
think about it.
out is Zedbane, and he passes by the two Goldeye and kind of walks a few paces over by you guys and doesn't like get into your conversation, but just kind of stands nearby and just turns his head a little bit and says, "Not that it's really any of my business, y'all. I'm sure have your own things to attend to, but think of it this way, Ringcast. If you're there, the whole group, that just may be more eyes set upon you. Perhaps one of them reigar to help out with this person in need that you said."
And we have to have you. You're like one of... You're the original, you know? You were there, and what's the Wyld Tycoons without... Well, one of the Wilds. You.
Let me sleep on it and I'll let you know in the morning.
Because if it's any thing that will change your mind, I would be... And I'm not just saying this because I want you to participate with us, but I would feel safer if you joined along and were inside of the ring with us, no matter whose team you're on. I mean, clearly, if you go on Aesop's, it's the wrong team. Losing team. I won't dock you for that. I just don't want you out there alone. You're a giant target, honey. And not that I don't think you can't take care of yourself. You know, it's just possible to be outnumbered if anything were to go wrong. And if anything were to go wrong inside of the ring, you would kick yourself for not being there.
That's a good point.
Just think about it. We're family here. That will soon beat the living life out of each other, but, you know, that's fine. It's families fight. But they're always together, so... Sleep on it. Here's some wine. I took a sip, so it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Love ya! I wink. Oh, and if you ever need to talk, you know where I am.
Of course.
I peek my head out. What lies is she filling your head with?
The same as usual.
Well, temporary teams until you can all talk Rinkaz into joining then, Lushee says with a smile still on his face.
Let me decide threes or twos.
Twos. Oh, fun.
Twos. So, alright. I'm willing to hear it. Which one of you wants me a part of your team?
Sun Kong! Hal, buddy, listen.
What's up, Aesop?
When I had a voracious killer lycanthrope inside of me, who did I trust with that silver quarterstaff? It was you, and I boop him on the nose. Actually,
Here's the
you get taller? What?
By about an inch.
Here's the real test. I look Aesop right in the face. I just wink.
Like, I wink, and then you just see this other eye, like twitch,
Yeah.
and
One
Drop
tear.
of blood.
I tip my hat to him. But I'm like wrinkling the fucking bill of the hat from like gripping it so hard. Huh?
Your potions definitely could help.
Listen. All you need is a little serum 23, and nothing's gonna stop you, right? Were you
I
conscious
take.
when I did that the first time? I'm pretty sure you were.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure
I-
you were. All right. So look,
I've
you know,
taken it.
there's no side effects even. Anyway, just think about it.
Think about it. If you're on a D's team, you would be a powerhouse that never dies.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Two dwarf attendants dressed in nice-looking clothes come up and offer you guys all kinds of various like meats and cheeses on a platter, as well as
Oh,
plenty of drinks.
Creamy board, fancy. I'll take some.
What's Fa's constitution, just out of curiosity?
What? I'm not giving you more reasons to not pick me. No.
Yeah, this doesn't have to just be. I mean, I love the RP, but it doesn't have to be just in character. You guys can kind of
Oh no,
ball
no.
game it.
Fall, let's do girls. Let's do girls against everyone else.
Strong, independent lady and don't need no man.
Great,
High five.
Rinkaz, buddy.
Rinkaz, third choice.
I don't know.
Rinkaz was my first choice.
Do it for Do it for COOI.
Trying to think. I don't think I really synergize that well with most. I don't. In combat, I work best on solo and range, so I don't know how much I offer.
Look, you have gun. That's the synergy. You have gun is synergy with anything because you fire bullets and it hurts.
I mean, it's kind of hard to synergize with Aesop. It's kind of like a crutch on your team, but
A crutch! I can fly! I can
Yeah.
rain bloody death from hundreds of feet in the air, and you're telling me I'm a crutch?
Yeah, for some reason you're a flying ball and chain.
Oh, I'm definitely not on either of your teams, that's for certain.
We
You're
don't.
dead, kids! You're dead!
Rinkaz, he needs you. I mean,
You and your
Look
friends are
at
dead.
You could probably get him to do your chores for like a month if he was on yours.
Do you need a math tutor?
I am this close. Lushee, how much to lower the death ward? Kidding, mostly.
Lushee thinks for a second and goes, "No, we couldn't do that."
That's right, we wouldn't want anyone to be murder killed.
But see, everyone, it's gonna be a good time, Rinkaz. You can't miss this.
It's gonna be a great time. Rinkaz and Aesop. The two great tastes that taste great together.
And also came second because they didn't all sing.
that's right. Actually, they're in third because it's gonna be us and then the monkey and then.
Oh wait, because they have Aesop.
That's
The dead
right.
weight.
Yeah.
You listening to these motherfuckers, listen. I've got a plan. I have 19 fucking intellect and 19 strength. I have the brains and the brawn.
You don't
Hey,
know what
hey,
those
it's-
numbers mean, Ringcast.
I can't wait.
But he sounds smart.
Take control.
And he looks strong.
Listen, he'll just turn on you, Ringcast. But
Turn on him? Why would I do that?
because I'll make you.
Oh, no, you will not.
Oh, snap.
I'm talking outside character. I have no clue.
Ah.
I have no clue. That's why I'm trying to do the math in my head.
I think our teams are pretty much set. I think you are stuck with this dead weight now. Sorry.
Hear that, buddy? It looks like it's you and me. What a shame. What a terrible shame.
It's like the island of outcast party members.
What a terrible shame that me and my greatest threat are on a team together. It's
But what a
really
show
too
it would
bad.
be if the absolute underdogs won. Oh, I mean, that's far from what's gonna happen, but just the possibilities.
Do you hear how they doubt us, Ringcast?
Oh,
Do you hear it? Doesn't it make your blood boil?
I'm wondering if Lushee has any open bets on any of these fights.
You are currently outside of his office. You could always ask him, though.
Oh no, I'm being serious. I'm wondering if he's betting, putting bets on us in general.
I don't know.
This is interesting.
He is sitting back enjoying the conversation. He takes a swig and says, "Don't forget, it's not just going to be the two of you. You'll have the selection to pick a helper's hand. It will be like 3 teams of 4. You even have a choice from 3, each of you, so you could pick what works synergetically with your team."
Battle Royale. Very nice.
is that Bane a helper's hand?
No, sorry.
Oh,
I'm just here for the music.
Oh, I'm hoping for Tengeku. I think that's his name.
well,
That's correct.
Rink, you're stuck with Aesop. Sorry. So
Stuck
hopefully
with-
your helper's hand will be more
Stuck.
beneficial to you.
Stuck with Aesop. Oh, they have no idea what I'm
So,
going to do to them.
let's see. A Golden Boy and Sun Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Fa and Glacé.
The mongooses.
Weaker
see.
sex.
The mongoose.
What? I will slap that mask off your bird face.
Save it for the arena.
So we have an assaulting powerhouse, he says, pointing over at Sun Kong, with essentially a healing battery, he points over at Nvidi, who, then again, is nothing to snuff at with his own damage. We
Drop a
have
couple fireballs.
2 incredibly powerful casters, he says, pointing at the 2 of you, Fa and Glacé.
Well, turns around. Where?
And then we have the interesting mix of
Interesting.
Aesop and Ringkaz. Aesop having the ability to fly, and Ringkaz has plenty of ability to survive
Gun.
on his own, but is
He has
also a
gun.
ranged fighter.
Gun is
He
what
could be
is your-
picking off any of you from a range.
I like how Aesop's one trait is, he can fly.
Motherfuckers.
I wonder what he'll smell like when Nvidi blasts him with that fire of his.
Okay, real talk, out of character though. You know Nvidi's gonna kill all of us with
Yeah.
the ball of fire.
Yeah.
Why do
You
you
know
think
that
I
we're-
wanted it?
You know
That's fair.
we're all gonna die as soon as he casts Wall of Fire. Like there's like no way around it.
All Sun Kong has to do is touch you once, and you're gonna get 3 stunning fist and die with a smile on your face.
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
team right
Sun
there.
Kong has to get to me.
I don't think he's going to have much trouble to that. Oh, but his little wings on the other hand, I don't know if he's gonna be able to jump quite that high. Aesop only flies!
I got-
Ooh!
I got my quarterstaff that sends me far in the air.
We'll see about that.
I just see this in like a 10 by 10 room.
Well, if it's in 10 by 10, I'm pretty fucked.
I think we're all
You
fucked.
know what you
Could-
can't do in the air?
It's an arena, I think.
You can't fly while you're dancing in the air. Oh, that's weird.
I can dance while flying. Watch, I'll do it right now.
If only someone could force Aesop to land.
Dance for us, Aesop. Dance!
No, I hate this. I hate this.
Lushee, enjoying the conversation, pipes up that it is a 115 by 115 semicircle that raises up. I'll get the specifics with you next session, but plenty of airspace for someone like Aesop
Good
before
enough room
reaching the
to
height.
fall.
Yeah.
Which fall damage rules are we using again?
Clearly, we're using the cannon fall damage rule.
Yeah.
We're using the weird and wild cannon, so don't fall.
What would be perfect is if there's a pocket of Wyrd inside the stadium.
Ooh.
But I just need to make a pocket of mayonnaise below me to cushion my fall.
There's no pocket of weird Sun Kong, but every round we'll be activating a controlled measure of weird that will affect potentially everyone in the arena.
Ooh.
You each have your ups and downs, but let me assure you there will be plenty of, let's just say, uncontrollable things happening. Some surprises that happen each and every turn, depending on what you all do.
So luck is involved.
Not necessarily. It still may fall down to each of your strengths.
Oh, well, if luck's involved, Glace might actually have a chance.
Oh.
If weaknesses are involved, Aesop's fucked.
Fuck, your ass is getting carpet bombed. Don't think I won't do it.
Oh, and by the way, Aesop, I don't think you can fly high enough to escape my key blast.
Fine, I could take one measly key blast.
Oh yeah.
How did Aesop become the bad guy all at once?
He's the total heel.
Yeah, he's the heel. Come on, every fucking thing needs a heel.
I made the joke, but you actually did walk around and say, "Hey, Secret Alliance."
Yeah.
So this
Totally
is,
a character.
unless you guys want to continue role playing, this is kind of where I imagine that this would be a good place to wrap up. This would be a good opportunity out of character for you guys to just confirm that these are the teams you want. Also, we have a little bit of spare time. It's a decent list of helpers' hands, and you guys, each of you, will be rolling 3 times to choose from a select of 3 to be your companion. After we end this stream, did you guys want to use our remaining time to kind of go ahead and find out who you'd like to bring with you?
Yeah, let's get the boring shit out of the way.
I don't have descriptions from everybody like you'd be normally visiting like a helper's hand and getting the fun little blurb, but I can show you the cards and then you guys can pick who you'd like to come with you.
Works.
Should we wait for Nvidi?
Oh. Yeah.
Nah, fuck him.
We can do ours. I mean, our picks aren't going to affect his, right?
Well, if you choose somebody, obviously someone else can't choose them, but that's just
going to happen either way, though.
Yes, and there's going to be plenty of, I think on this list that Lushee's drummed up, there's going to be like 25 different options. So I think everyone will get there may be a little overlap, but I think you guys will mostly get a decent amount of different varied people. So if you want, we can go ahead and do that now, and then maybe we just start the session off with Nvidi able to roll his to find out who he'd like to bring with him next session.
Yeah.
Let's hit the ground running next time.
All right, so you guys are wrapping up. You're having fun talking amongst yourselves and what teams you're going to be in, and something for you to just nail down in stone by the time we do our next session. The Arcane Man is still with you. He is just silent and invisible, maintaining his disguise so as not to draw in any unwanted attention. And that is essentially, at least for now, for our viewers, while we're in things. We're Battle Royale sorts coming up, so I hope you guys are excited for that. I appreciate everybody stopping by. It was a pretty active session. I appreciate everybody who poked their heads in. Thank you, Chowders, Art Studios for following us, and of course League of Explorers for the bits. That's always really nice. I appreciate you doing any of that. Looney, thank you. Our VIP as always, stopping in. Thank you, Gravity 2DX, Husband and Wife Stream, Kona Povich, Megaxa, and VNK for stopping by. If you guys don't already know, if you missed any of this session or want to just watch our past ones, all of the videos on demand are on Twitch, or within a day or two I put each new episode on YouTube, and that's just JWD_mode, or you can punch in Weird and Wild the way it's spelled, and you should find it on YouTube, whichever way you prefer to watch. Also, keep in mind that as you guys watch, you gain Twitch channel points that you can use for all kinds of fun stuff. And you can see all the details. It's actually nicely held down at the bottom left of the chat, and take a look at those. And yeah, thank you, Kevin, for pointing out our Twitter. We'll give you updates on when we hold our next session and stuff like that. Usually, I mean, it's Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I try to put that in the title description on Twitch too, so if you just visit the page during the week, you'll see that our next session is Friday at 9. But yeah, you can go to our Twitter and see fun stuff. I usually put news about all kinds of things on there. But yeah, keep an eye on that and follow us if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And catch us next time when we dig more into the Let's Get Wild game show premiere for the Twixt 102nd turn of the year. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. We are going to let's just, instead of just ending, let's just see if we can't raid the League of Gentlemen. All right. I don't know if they're live or not. I'm just going to do it because he always comes in and supports us. Thank you, Looney. See you later. We'll be back next week, everybody, for more fun, and Vidi will be back then, too. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.